Hello and welcome back to Yeah We Read It. We've missed you so much. I
Ah,
am one of your hosts, Maggie,
and I'm one of your hosts, Laura.
and we have an exciting season this season because we are going to be reading Mary Pearson's Kiss of Deception series. It is a older series that just got re-released with like super cool book covers. Shout out to I think Macmillan sent them to us,
Yeah, the
but they
covers are gorgeous, and I think it's called the Remnant Chronicles as a
you
series.
know what? You're so right. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
it
looking at
is.
the book right now because I was like, I don't think it's called the Kiss of Deception series.
Yeah,
Sorry to
that's just
out you like that, Maggie. That was actually really fucked of me.
no,
But
absolutely as you should.
yeah,
Laura is completely right. I messed up. My bad. But the first book that we will be talking about is Kiss of Deception. These are re-released new books because they're hot and poppin'. They're hot and poppin'.
I loved this book so much. It's such a good ride.
Oh my god, it was
It
incredible.
was so much fun. And honestly, everybody really in it does have a kiss of deception. So
I would have to completely agree. Apparently, this book was first released in 2014, and
great year.
I'm really happy that we are doing it because there is such a play on a trope of expectations in this, and it truly blew my mind.
I want this to be turned into a TV show so bad. I feel like I've said that about like every book we've read lately. Um, but
Yeah.
I'm spoiled with My Lady Jane. I'm like, now that My Lady Jane was turned into a series, everything we read should be turned into a TV series. So
Hey, listeners, don't even worry. If you loved My Lady Jane, just know there is a rom com coming out with the woman who plays Jane and Austin Butler very soon. And I'm very excited because
oh,
I think they have the capacity to have hot chemistry.
I hope so. We'll see.
Yes.
Speaking of chemistry, Maggie and
Hmm.
I are so happy to be back hosting with
I know, we
our
missed
lovely
you.
hosting bestie chemistry. Um, to really heighten everybody's summer. Maggie, should we do it? Should we dive in?
We're going to dive right into Kiss of Deception, the first
Splish
of
splash.
four in the Remnant Chronicles, where
Well, the
we
first of
follow.
three, and then we're reading the prequel.
Oh, we're reading the prequel.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Shine on us.
Okay, so let's break this down. Our main character, her name is Arabella, but she goes by Leah because her like fourth middle name is Giselia, so she goes by Leah. She's
Hmm.
a princess. It's her last day in the kingdom of Morrighan, where she is a princess because she is getting married off. And her whole thing on this lovely day of ceremony is she's gonna get a sick as fuck henna tattoo that's like all over
Hmm.
her back. So when her like future husband like uncloaks her, she's wearing a sick ass henna tattoo, and she'll be marrying the Prince of Dalbrek.
She's not too excited about it
No.
because it's tradition of the first daughter to marry as like a way of pleasing the ancient gods
Yeah.
and bringing peace between the empires. Two empires, obviously, hers is the Morgans and the Dalbreks. There's also Venda. But she's like, I don't want to marry some old prince. She's got it in her head that this is an old dude that she's being sold off to, which I would also assume, you
Yes,
know?
we also learned some backstage lore that like since she's the first daughter, she's supposed to have a gift. We don't know what the gift is, but we know it's like a supernatural gift, and we know that she does not have it. So she's kind of like they're going to kind of feel tricked by marrying me, the first daughter who doesn't have this gift because that's the expectation.
Hmm.
So what she's going to do is she's going to go meet her bestie Pauline, and they're going to steal a carriage and they're going to fucking run.
Yeah, they had this plan to run away for a little bit. She kind of signaled to Pauline that at dinner that no, she can't do this. She wants to marry for love, which fucking don't we all?
Hey,
They,
been
you're right.
there.
I'm being negative. Now at this point, I'm just ready to marry for money. So
Honestly, hey, if you're not marrying for love, at least get money out of it. Am I right?
I'm telling you, your 20s is for situationships, your 30s is for going on Love is Blind, which is not money, but it's just I'll settle at this point. Anyone,
Mhm.
email us. So they travel.
Anyone email Meggie and Laura present at gmail.com. I will be reviewing the dowries available to this blessed affair.
You know what? And we were closed off for a bit. We're opening it back up to just all genders. We're not. We're
Wow.
back
You
to
hear that, all genders? The time is now.
hell. I'll be straight again if it means I'll get married. So they travel on a winding road through the woods to not leave behind a trail. They're really trying to
They're doing a
divert
good
people.
job.
Yes, and the prince is kind of, we get, it's a three point of view
Yes.
book. There is the prince, the assassin, who will come up later, and Leah. And the prince is like very mildly amused by Leah running. He hears this news back in Dalbrek, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Why the fuck didn't I do that first? That was so
Yeah,
smart."
and interestingly enough, he's not an old hag of a guy. He's actually like a sexy prince. And he's like, LOL, this bitch is funny. I'm gonna go find her. And then his buddy Sven is like, I don't think you should do that. And he's like, no, 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 dude, just tell everybody I'm on like summer vacation. I'm gonna go find her and see if she actually likes me or not.
Yes,
And that's
and
awesome. We also get the POV of the assassin, like Meggie said. And his whole thing is he's been recruited by the Commissar, who is like the leader, king of Venda, the emperor, whatever you want to call it, to basically find and kill Leah because they're like, oh, we hear rumblings of a little princess out and about. Let's go kill her.
yes, they're
Um,
thinking that they can pin this kill of the runaway princess on the Dalbrek, which is
yeah,
the prince's territory, and hoping to weaken both nations because Venda's just
politics.
kind of like the third child that's left out.
Yeah.
Put him in,
Um,
coach.
So now we get the POV of Leah and Pauline. It's going to take them 10 days to get to Terravan, where they're trying to go. The reason they're going here is because Pauline's technically from here. We also learned that Pauline is leaving behind her boyfriend, Michael, who's in the guard and he's always out and about. But when we get to Terravan, we meet Verity, who she's the innkeeper. She's no nonsense. But they basically fill her in like, we're runaways. She house us.
Yeah, they kind of put it in her court, being like, listen, you don't have to take us in. It could be
Yeah.
dangerous. And she's like, no, you absolutely stay. You know what I put out? I put animal towel animals on your bed. I put one
Yeah.
of those
She's like,
Godiva
welcome to Royal
chocolate.
Caribbean, bitch. Like, this is it.
Welcome to
But
Royal
also,
Caribbean.
Verity and Pauline have a history. So, like, that's also why she's more inclined to help them. Um,
Yes.
we get a little jump in with the assassin, and he's having trouble finding Leah. Where'd she go? But he accidentally stumbles upon exactly where she is by just like landing in Terravan, basically at the inn. And also, ironically, the prince is also having trouble finding her, but stumbles upon the assassin at the creek. So they're like, I guess let's just go stay at this inn if we're both looking for somebody. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, yeah, very slapstick comedy. They end up together. The prince figures out that, yep, the princess is definitely here because some stable boy ratted her out, seeing her just bathing and trying to rub the cava off of her back. She can't do it.
Boo.
It's just there permanently. So the prince and the assassin agree that, well, not really agree. There's one room in the inn, and they have to reluctantly agree to stay together.
Yeah.
It's one room, baby.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a
they're staying in.
romance
I think they're
trope,
staying
but
at
it's
the
still
like the
buddies.
loft of the barn, right? There's not even a room for them. They're like, y'all can sleep on some hay together. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's where they're going to be staying. Beforehand, they are heading into this tavern to get a drink. Leah, newly employed, very exciting, probably first job in her life, like
Yeah,
many women, waitress. You
love
gotta.
that for her. She's immediately going to get hit on by one of the Morrighan soldiers, and she's not down. She's a priss towards him, so much so that Verity scolds Leah after the fact and is like, "You cannot talk to patrons like that. I know this is your first job, but I've got a business to run."
Mhm.
And we also watch the pair of Caden and Rafe enter the inn, so they watch all of this unfold. And here's where one of the best plot development devices I've ever seen happens. We don't know between Caden and Rafe who is the prince and who is the assassin.
No, they are just described as one is clean cut and has blonde hair, and one has shoulder length hair, a little bit more messy, and brunette hair, and looks a little bit beat up, I would say.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's what we get. We do not know the names of either the prince or the assassin, but they are
no.
here. They are mildly impressed by Leah because one of the people that she also works with, Gwyneth, who is a Birdie employee, is like a natural. She's like, those boys want Darksiders. Don't ask me how I know. I know.
Yeah. And they're, I gotta say it, Caden and Rafe are already like, wait, she's hot? So at night after this shift, after Verity has scolded Leah's gonna go back to the cottage, and Caden is just like lurking out and about, being like, hey, what's up? Yeah, your shift's over. And then Rafe also stumbles upon them. It's kind of a whole thing, and then it's nothing.
Yes, we
Yeah,
learn not quite a lot except for that Caden's like, "Hey, saw you hold your own against those soldiers after they spilled beer on you."
yeah,
So,
whoa,
okay,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa.
whoa, whoa. And then Rafe is like, "Hey, Caden, your horse is freaking out. You gotta go tend to your
Hey
horse."
man, you gotta go take care of that horse. The next morning, Pauline and Leah are like, those two hot guys walked into the inn. That was crazy. Let's go get berries with Gwyneth. And they run into Caden on their way, and they're like, hey Caden, how's the horse? Uh,
Yeah, and he's kind of considering his time with her, and he's like, "Well, she's not really what I expected at all." And the boys are both annoyed with each other because, like, Rafe is eyeballing one of them. He wants to stick around to get to know her, and Kaden also is kind of like, "Yeah, you don't throw me off my game, you know."
No, yeah. But they're on berry picking time. They visit Gwyneth. She's going to come with berries. We get another plot device here, plot development point, I should say, because
Mhm.
Pauline, when she gets to Gwyneth, throws up. And this is when Leah realizes, oh, based on all like the conversations and how of like Michael and how Pauline has been acting, this girl is pregnant. So
Mhm.
she's going to hang behind while Leah and Gwyneth continue to go berry picking. And one of my favorite things here is like the women of Terravan are very much like not candid. They're gonna tell it like it is. And Gwyneth's like, hey, now that we're alone, I know you're a princess, Leah. And Leah's like, what? And then she's like, don't worry about it. I got your back. And like that's end of story.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm clued in, I know, but don't worry. I'm really good with secrets," which I think could be me
If
in this
someone told me they were
situation.
good with secrets, I would not believe them. Like
I
I feel
wouldn't
like
either.
Gwyneth is like, don't worry, I'm good with secrets.
I
And I'm
think
like,
I
are you? And she's like, don't worry, I'm great with secrets.
I think I'm great with secrets, but a hobby of mine is shit talking.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to marry the two because I think they're in total opposition of each
It's
other.
hard. It's
So
hard.
sometimes you start the shit talk and then you reveal something that you weren't supposed to reveal.
Oops.
Oops.
Oopsie.
So, but Gwyneth is not this. Gwyneth is probably a well balanced sign, like a Taurus.
Yes.
And she is like, don't worry, I got you. They are in this hot fucking canyon. They're trying to get these berries. They're trying to get the berries because there's a festival coming up. And Leah is like, well, it feels like it's okay to take my shirt off. No one's going to see the giant tattoo on my back.
Yeah.
So she takes it off, and you'll never guess who she runs into. But Rafe is also just kind of in this canyon.
Well, he does bring the baskets that
Yeah.
were left with Pauline. So it's not that he's just here. He came with duty in mind, and it was to bring some baskets. And now he's getting a sneak of a peek at Leah, who's not wearing her flouncy blouse anymore.
And she's
Um,
gonna nag. That's her flirting style. She's like, "You seem in better spirits and less of a bore today." And he's very amused by this.
yeah, he notices her tattoo on her back, and he's like, "So, tell me more about this." And they're both clearly lying about their pasts, and they're both very aware of it. But now they're flirting about this tattoo, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and in their lives, she says she's a thief, he says he's a farmer, and there is a little bit of a disconnect because they're talking about old traditions, and she
Hmm.
is like, I think they're like brutish and barbarians, and like, I don't like any of these old traditions. And he kind of backs away from this. He doesn't like the use of the word barbarian.
No, he doesn't. The next day or later that day, either of those, she's going to get a note to meet her alone at the ruins. And it turns out it's her brother, Walter, who is coming to meet her. He's not blowing her cover, he's just checking in like a good older brother does. He makes note that he's very worried about what she stole from the scholar, which was a bunch of just like ancient texts and scripts in another language. She's like, no, it's good. I just like stole something fun because the scholar sucks. And Walter's like, you don't understand. He really wants that back. He also says his wife is pregnant. Yay.
Yes, and he also admits that Michael, who is with Pauline, Leah's friend, Michael is a man whore. He's like,
Oh my God.
freaking hope to pray to God that your
I
friend is not in love with him.
And I was so bamboozled to hear that because I like Pauline's been like so longing and yearning for
I
Michael this whole time. And then
know.
when he like Leah brings it up, he's like, "Are you fucking around with that guy? That guy fucking sucks. He's a man whore. He's a bitch. Don't." I saw him like hooking up with like two girls at the tavern last night, and Leah's like,
Yeah.
"That's not
So she's
good."
like, "What am I gonna do? I gotta tell my friend something. She can't be
Yeah,
just hung up on this guy." So she is, she's gonna figure that out. Meanwhile, her brother and her, when they interact, obviously, like first they hug each other, and Caden sees this entire interaction and is like, she has a lover. That's what it is.
yeah.
But later on, when she runs into him at the tavern, she is like, "Ugh, you'll never believe this. My brother brought troubling news, so I'm just kind of in a bad mood. You should still tip me 20%, but I'm in a bad mood."
Yeah. Rafe, who's also heard rumblings that she has a lover now, is just getting drunk in his sorrows that this hot girl is taken. And he's realizing that he likes Leah a lot more after the berry picking tattoo scenario than he thought he did. But after the shift, as he's stumbling back to his barn, he overhears Leah straight up tell Pauline that Michael died. And Pauline loses it. Is this a bad friend move for
I was
Leah?
just going to say, Laura, what would you do for
I
me?
Here's the thing. I'm such an honesty is the best policy person. I think I would tell Pauline exactly what Walter said, just saying, like, hey, he's sleeping around with other people. I think going as far to say that he's dead is a lot. Or I would
It's a
simply say,
really
I
funny
haven't heard
jump.
anything about Michael. Like, I would say either, like, no news, or I would say, like, he's a culprit and you need to evade him at all costs. I think death is too much.
Would you do that to me? Would you tell me that my, I guess, person who impregnated me and I'm in love with is seeing other people?
I think I would. I would want you to know. I feel like you would need to know that the parent of your child
Yeah.
is sleeping around. Wouldn't you want to know that?
I think if I heard it at 17, I think I would be like, just tell me that they're dead. I'd be really mad at you
That's
later
fair. Yeah,
on.
she's very young, but I think this is a bad friend move. What would you tell me that he
I mean,
died?
I would tell you that he's just a whore.
Yeah,
So,
right. Exactly. I would tell you the truth that he's just a whore because
yeah. Yeah.
that's how good of friends we are. So it begs the question: are
Mhm.
Pauline and Leah that good of
That good of
friends?
friends. I mean, yes, Pauline did help her escape, but also Leah's out here pulling crazy moves.
Yeah, Leah's
Always
like,
standing
I'm a
tall.
whore too, basically, at this point. There's two guys pining after me. I can't give us a bad reputation.
Exactly. And listen, just go for it, Like if you got having two boyfriends was like the best time of my life. So live it
And
up, live la
and
vida
poor
loca.
drunk Rafe, has to carry physically Pauline back to their little cottage because she cannot move. And Leah's like, maybe you could stay for a little bit because this is really uncomfortable. And he's like, I have to leave. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And Leah's gonna keep up the lie. When Verity and Gwyneth ask the next day, what's up? She goes, Michael's dead. Isn't that a bummer?
Luckily, there is a bit of a distraction happening right now because there's a flurry of activity happening as people are getting ready for this festival coming up. Caden has been nicked by Rafe's horse, so she is like tending to the horse wars of 2025. She is tending
Of course.
to his his wounds. She has an interaction with Rafe about deception and trust, and she's like, "Some things can't be forgiven," and he's
You
like,
know,
"Noted."
it
Okay.
was at this point in the book that like it's very aware that like at every turn Kaden and Rafe are just like around. And for like Leah as somebody who's on the run, how is she not thinking it's a little bit suspicious that there's these two boys that are always just like conveniently here?
Yeah, like I'd be like, "Oh, so are you visiting family here?
Right?
What are you doing with
And
your time?"
she knows that Rafe is lying about his past. So don't you think that's a little suspicious? Maybe you should keep your guard up a little bit more.
Like, I know social media and TMZ doesn't exist, but you are a public figure. People do
Yeah.
know who you
You
are.
gotta hold your cards a little bit closer to your
Wouldn't you be a
chest.
little suspicious?
No, she's not because she's thinking, you know what Rafe really does? He challenges me, and I like that.
Exactly. And that's great because at this point, the assassin is also coming to the realization that he's like, you know what, this little petty crime, I gotta stop it. I gotta kill her. I gotta kill her. So she's, once again, she just does not realize that she's a public figure.
No,
She needs bodyguards.
and what's worse is the assassin's like, Pauline's pretty close to her. I probably have to kill her
Kill
too.
her too, yeah. I got a damn double homicide then, like, come
And like,
on.
and also, the prince conveniently overhears Leah complaining about Dalbrek to Verity, and he's like, "Man, this girl's so silly. She's always complaining about something."
She's always complaining. And yeah, it's I think that he takes it the prince takes it a little bit to heart that she's complaining about not being
Yeah,
able to marry an older prince and also like someone that her father set up with her because he's
yeah.
like, all right, got
He's
it, got
like,
it, got it, got it.
noted, fair. The festival is near, and Leah, who's fully study abroad, immersed herself in the culture. She's gonna go get some new clothes and some flower crowns. And again, Leah is not being as cautious as she should be as a public figure on the run who's trying to start a new life. A man straight up stops her on her like walk alone in the woods back and knife to her throat, says he was sent by the scholar to basically give her the texts back or he's going to kill her. So that's not good.
Exactly, because like she was not only did she steal the text, she doubled down and left a note that says, "Such an intriguing piece of work, not properly taken care of, but it is now. Hope you don't mind."
Yeah, she
Which
signed
is
it. P.S. I'll be in Terravan. XOXO Gossip Girl.
she's taking absolutely every liberty to kind of just be an asshole. I love it,
Yeah,
but it's
that's a
once
princess
again,
though. You know, she doesn't really understand consequences just yet.
yeah, and this guy already who is has shown up with duties to kind of get her back is doing a way better job than the hired assassin
Yeah.
is doing because he's holding a knife to her throat. He's like, "I've been paid to kill you, and all I care about is money. I don't care how hot you are."
And don't worry, because Kaden and Rafe, who are also constantly around, are aware of this thing that's happening. They're somehow like 10 yards off in the distance, standing side by side, ready to spring into action. Kaden
Mhm.
shoots him with a crossbow, and Rafe's like, "You guys go ahead, I'll dispose of the body as casually as possible."
Yeah, so Kaden is bandaging her up. Rafe is taking care of the body. Rafe is like, I can't believe this. This must have been someone that was hired by her own dad to kill her. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah. And at this point in the book, because we still don't really know which one's the prince and which one's the assassin, I'm like, Rafe's definitely the assassin because he knows how to dispose of a fucking body. What kind of prince would know how to do that?
Exactly. And then also, yeah, the aim on the crossbow is really good. So you
And that's
don't.
something I feel like a prince would know how to do. He like gets trained in weaponry, right?
I always thought the assassin was would gonna be good at it.
But you
Truly,
think a prince would know how to dispose of a body?
this is the kiss of deception that they talk about.
This is the deception because we're getting deceived as to who is who the whole time.
Yeah.
So Verity's gonna clean her up for her night shift. Rafe does visit her at night with like the things that were dropped in the skerfuffle, like so those little crumpled flower crowns. That was really nice in her clothes.
Hmm.
Pauline is still in mourning, so we kind of just get some catch up vibes.
She does, but eventually she does pull herself out of her funk because she's like, you know what, I'm gonna be a mom. I can't be depressed.
And she's like, I gotta go to this festival.
I gotta go. And Leah gives her a letter from Michael that is some money if anything happened to him, which I wonder if she just kind of
I
did
feel
that
like
out
that
of
was
guilt.
Leah keeping up her lie. I don't know if I can commend her for going even further to be like, I know you're sad. Here's some money from the guy who died, supposedly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot. We also get a cutaway scene of the prince cornering Enzo, who's a guy who works at the inn, because the prince, he's a sly guy. He knows that Enzo was the guy who tipped off the other assassin who tried to kill her in the woods.
Yes. So the festival begins. The first rite is this first daughter's rite. Every daughter in town walks in line. Leah takes this moment to kind of listen to a prince tell the history of how, like, the Morrigan's first daughter were blessed to be sacrifices in
Hmm.
marriage, which is crazy language. But they are sacrifices to keep the peace,
Yeah.
essentially. And she's having a little moment with Rafe where he points out that she's still limping and she's like, wow, I was literally just thinking about you. And she's trying to untangle why she both hates him and likes him. She's not really sure.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, but he follows her down to the creek and he's like, I'm not repulsed by you. I actually really like you. And they start to kiss, but Pauline interrupts. And I will say before this, we do get another cutaway scene with the assassin who's barbarian friends arrive and are like, all right, we're ready to kill her. And he's like, one more week, guys, just one more week. I actually want one more week with her, which is hilarious. This
Yes,
is
all of
also where
your
I looked
friends,
up which
I'd be
one was the
panicking.
prince. And oh, sorry, what were you saying,
Oh,
Meggie?
say like 1 week, I would be panicking, like, or like all my friends are there.
Right?
No.
No, no. And this is also where I looked up which one was the prince and which one was the assassin. Because I was like, did I
Mm,
miss something? Do I want to know? Like, I need to know. I need to know now.
I wasn't
Um,
tuned in. I did not know until the reveal.
oh, see, that's, yeah, I should have done that. But I was worried that, like, I missed the reveal and I
Mm,
didn't. I was wrong. So we can wait till the reveal to reveal
yes.
it.
So they have this big fancy feast the night of the festival. She's really annoyed that Rafe isn't giving her the time of the day at all. So she's like, fine, I'm gonna start flirting with Caden.
Oops.
Yeah, gonna do
Oops.
it. And then she sees Rafe to get up to leave, and she's mad. And she's like, "No, I'm leaving first. I have to do it first. I have to leave." So she leaves, and he's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Listen, I'm confused by you. One minute you like me, the next you look at me as if I'm the most repulsive thing in the world." And he's like, "Hold on.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I am a lot of things, but repulsed by you is not one of those. I think about you every day when I wake up, every night when I go to bed. Very
Cute.
romantic." And
Very
then they
romantic. And then, but Pauline interrupts them. Oopsie. So they stop, and Leah's kind of like goo goo gaga when she gets back to their cottage for the night. And I do disagree with this because Leah's like, Pauline, how did you know you were in love with Michael? Like, you can't do that after you told her she was dead.
I know. She really is
That's really
twisting the
shitty.
knife.
That's really kind of shitty, but she's a flawed character, and we love that.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, and her response is that Michael said she is the most radiant thing the gods ever made. And yeah,
Aw.
I'd let someone put their seed in me if they said that to me.
Wow. Okay. All those people who are emailing us to marry Meggie, just put that in there.
Yeah,
um,
back on track.
the next morning, Barry and Gwyneth are like, Pauline, you're not really getting anything past us. We understand that you're pregnant. And also, Leah, you got to be more careful. There's rumors of an assassin who's here to kill you. Just be super careful. And Leah's like, I'm always careful. And the audience is like, no, Leah, you
No,
are
you're not.
not.
Meanwhile, Rafe and Caden are challenging each other to a log fight. They're gonna get all
Love
this
it.
beef, this tension, this
Ugh,
challengers situation. They're gonna work it
amazing.
out on the remix, on the log fight. They're trying to swipe each other off the log, and Rafe does end up winning. The soldier that Leah spilled beer on confronts her, and I did think that this was going to come back because he does threaten her, saying that they're going to meet again.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that.
Yikes. But yeah, Rafe wins his first match, then his second match, and then Caden's up and Caden beats Rafe. So it's a whole hee hee ha ha moment.
Hmm.
Um, but Leah also takes a moment to go over to Tervin Sacrista, which is kind of like their church. She's going to try to find a text to help her translate what she stole from the scholar. Again, Leah, not a careful girl. A priest spots her immediately and is like, "You don't have to steal it. I'll just give it to you." We
Yeah.
learned that he's from Morrighan, so he's like aware of who she is, and he's like, "You're all good. Have fun. We
Yeah,
love to learn."
your secret's safe with me. She does a knife throwing event. Whoa, there was just loud thunder. Sorry. And the
Whoa, that's crazy.
voice, like her magic keeps indicating someone is watching her because now she's starting to hear the voice, right? It's like we're getting to Dune hours. It's like
Exactly. Yeah, we start
Dune
getting
book.
little hints that Leah's gift is like festering inside her. So she does get to hear like little voices and like little warnings.
Hmm.
Um, but that night, Caden, who's being like, I don't know what Rafe's intentions are, but he does dance with Leah for a little bit. And he's like, just so you get it a little FYI, I gotta leave town soon. And Rafe
Hmm.
immediately cuts in and is like, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. And readers, she does. I got the impression that she kind of lost her V card.
I kind of got that impression too. It wasn't explicitly stated, but that was my inference.
Sorry to the prince, she's not saving herself for marriage.
Oof.
It's gone.
No.
Goodbye. See
Goodbye.
you later. The
Um,
next day, her brother Walter shows up and he says there's an ambush on the bridge nearest him. Oh, poor
this was a
guy.
really sad scene. Poor Walter.
He like comes to warn her because someone shot an arrow through his wife Greta's throat.
Yeah.
And she's thinking that this is all happening because she fled. So she's like, I have to go back now. I have to
Yeah,
go
Leah's
back.
gonna try to like reverse the curse and basically be like, if I go beg and plead for this marriage again, maybe I can like bring peace to the kingdoms.
Hmm.
Um, so she's throwing knives thinking about this. Kaden interrupts her and she's like, I can't do this right now, Kaden. I'm thinking. And she ultimately comes to the conclusion that she has to leave. So Leah
Yeah.
goes and tells Rafe that she's outie 5,000. She's got to get out of here.
Mhm.
And Rafe in his head is like, I can't let her go. All he gets is her to agree to one final goodbye, like an hour outside of the city. So he's not trying to like fully stall her plans, but he's like, he's going to plan to stall. So,
So they are heading out of the city. Mind you,
mhm.
when you read this book for the first time, and I hope that you do, I hope that
Yes, read this book.
you haven't gotten this far, but whatever, if you have. This is the moment when you realize that Caden is the assassin and Rafe is not. Because Rafe is a very assassin name. I imagine Rafe as the one who had the long brown hair, was
Yeah.
scruffy and things like that.
And I
You
think
don't
he
know.
is. I think Rafe
He
still,
is.
yeah.
He is. I imagine that as the assassin.
Yeah.
And you don't imagine like the clean cut guy as like Caden. That moment, the
That went
description of them,
crazy.
and also I think the scene where one of them shoots the crossbow and the other one takes the body away
Yeah.
confused me on who was who. But
Yeah.
this is where they get out of town and they get disarmed by Caden. This is the huge reveal: is that you as a reader have been led astray the entire time.
Yeah. Because
Like
it's also,
even reading my notes back, I'm not even sure like if I did it correctly because I'm like,
right?
I don't actually know if I knew who I was
It's
talking about.
it's so well done because it's like you also have to realize that like Caden is like being so polite and so formal and so cordial throughout this. There are exchanges. So you're like, oh, of course he's being very mannerly because he's the prince. And Rafe is very like, he's a little brash, he's very much intense. And you're like, this guy's gonna be this barbarian assassin. And it's not the case. It's insane. But
I think you
Caden,
also expect the assassin and the princess to fall in love. That's like,
yeah, and then you realize, man, she's just falling in love with the guy she was supposed to marry. That makes it also even more of a bummer that like she would have been so happy.
happy with him. But no, no, no. Instead, she is out of town. She is
No.
disarmed by Caden. Big reveal, he is the assassin.
Yeah.
He's out here with his gang, Grizz, Eben, Marson, Finch.
Bunch
Hey,
bunch of
word
barbarian
generator.
names.
That's a
Bunch of
lot of
random
names.
word generator names. Kaden does agree to let Pauline go because like Leah's like, please, she's pregnant, like she can't be a part of this. And Kaden's like, okay, fine.
Okay,
So,
fine.
so they're gonna tie Leah up. They conveniently have a hood that they packed with them to throw over her, and they
Yeah.
slap her back on that horse.
Rafe is at the top of the hill.
Ugh,
He has not shown up. He is
he's
getting pretty concerned. He's talking to his army aide, Sven. Like, something's wrong. She did not show up.
he's like, I got an uneasy feeling. The vibes are bad. Meanwhile, Leah is being led through a wasteland. And Caden's like, if you haven't caught on, I was the assassin sent to kill you.
Yeah, he's like, I also was confusing you for a bit.
He's
Let's
like,
cap it.
in case this whole like shenanigan isn't fully aware to your princess brain, I'm the assassin.
I'm the assassin. So she is a little confused. She's like, why am I still alive? And he's like, doesn't matter. Just need you to know my job title.
He does, though, like tell the others that she has the gift to keep her alive. So we know he
Yeah.
does have a soft spot for her still.
Yes. He doesn't want to kill her, but he says he's loyal to his kind, and that's where they're gonna stand on that.
Yeah,
Rafe is clocking it back to the Terrabin. He's
sure
like,
is.
I gotta get help. Pauline tells him everything. They are like, oh, thank God we found each other. And Rafe is like, I'm gonna find them.
Yeah,
But straight up, I'm gonna find them.
yeah. And Verity gives him some food and said, here's some snackies for the road. And we learn on this journey with Leah, Caden, and the barbarians that it's going to take them 50 days to get to Venda. That's insane. This journey by horse, 50 days of being kidnapped. That's brutal.
Yeah, and she's getting stinky.
She's getting
She's getting stinky with
stinky.
it. She's feeling really betrayed, riding through the desert on a horse with no name by Caden, but she does take some food from him because she does need her strength as
Yeah,
they
she's like,
ride through this like city of dark magic.
yeah, she's really trying to plot. She does get to take a bath finally at the City of Dark Magic. She does see patrol from Dalbrek in this city as they're passing through, and Leah immediately wants to go like say, "Hey, FYI," and Caden hides her and is like, "No, no, no, we're not doing that. We're not outing ourselves to the army of Dalbrek. No, no, no."
Instead of following her gut, she lets Caden get in her head, being like,
Mhm.
they will associate us with Venda and think we are all barbarians.
Yeah,
Babe, once again, you are a public figure. Know your worth.
yeah. And meanwhile, Rafe, who's trotting along trying to track them down, he's like, "It's settled. I'm going to kill that guy for abducting her." So, pretty hot. Rafe's on a murder spree.
He's on a murder spree. They're riding through the desert is called Cam Lanto. Lanto? What do we think that is? Cam Lanto?
I read as Cam Lanto.
Cam Lento, and a huge thunderstorm, kind of like the one that's happening right now outside my window with rocks, comes
Cool.
rolling along. So they need to find cover. Classic. You know when it's raining, there's one bed in the inn? Well, that's not this. Caden and Leah have sleeping bags and they're rolling it out next to each other for an initial chat.
But Caden does, as a consolation for you listeners who are expecting the one bed at the inn trope, he
Yep.
does take off his shirt and is like, "You want to know how I got all these scars? Because I'm a barbarian."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not going to open up about it. And, Miss Princess of Privilege over here is like, wow, Vengeance must have a really hard upbringing. I should leave though. And she goes to leave, and a voice is like, no, don't do that yet. And then she stays, and she thinks Caden is asleep, and he does whisper, good, wise move about not leaving, which I'm
With
sorry, if someone was like pretending to be asleep and then said that to me, I think maybe I'm just touch starved, but I'd be like, woohoo!
Meggie would be the first victim of Stockholm syndrome in this scenario. Meggie would be like, "Actually, he's kind of hot though."
I would
So
not survive a horror film because I'd be like, let's hear him out. Like, do we know he's a bad guy? What do we think he looks like?
that's so funny. On their journeys, their next stop is a vagabond camp of people who don't really belong to any kingdom, but were previously there. So it's a lot of people from Terravan who are there to give food and hangs and vibes. So it's kind of like a Switzerland. It's a neutral territory, neutral
Hmm.
zones. There's an old woman who's going to talk to Leah about the gift. And this is where we kind of learn a little bit more about how this gift works. And the old woman very prophetically says, if you aren't feeding your gift, it will die. So we know that Leah might actually have the juice for this, but she's not giving it the cookies it needs.
Exactly. So they also admit, this tribe of women, that they are part of the tribe of Godril, which is in the Testament book that she stole from the
Mm-hmm.
scholar. Not to bring it back to Dune, but it kind of reminded me of the women who have the voice in Dune. They're just like
Yeah,
this high society of
for
very magical
sure.
women.
Good comparison.
She finds this old woman, Diara, who knows she has the gift, like Laura said, and she is going to be a bit of her mentor during her time
Yeah,
here.
and unfortunately, the longer I saw Diara's name, it started
Yep, I
looking
know
like
exactly what you're gonna
diarrhea.
say.
Yeah.
Yep,
So not the best choice for a name, I'll be honest, but you do you, Mary. Love that.
love that. A
um,
voice in Leah is telling her to stay in town. She really wants to flee, but this voice is like, "You're not fucking going anywhere."
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
and
Stockholm
Leah's
syndrome?
listening. At the tent at night, Leah does like eavesdrop on Caden and the other barbarians, the other Vendans. She is picking up a lot on their language, given all the time that they're spending together, and the fact that she's actually very smart. And Caden is aware that she's eavesdropping, and he intentionally calls her pretty. So she's like, "Blush, blush." He thinks I'm pretty.
Yeah, he's speaking in Vendon too. He's really testing what she knows.
Hmm.
Later that night, they're reading. Caden comes through her tent. He's a little bit drunk, and he seems to
Oopsie.
be conflicted and guilty about like everything he's doing. He's getting
Yeah.
way too close to her, and reiterates she's beautiful, but he's
Yeah.
drunk, and like she shoves him off her. And I agree, he's really like violating her personal
Yeah, he's
space.
being a little much right now. And he passes the fuck out after that shove. So he needed that.
Hmm.
Um, Leah talks to Diara again the next day,
Yeah,
afternoon. early evening. Time
Mhm.
doesn't matter. It's not of the essence right now. But Leah
Exactly.
starts to realize through these conversations that it almost seems like her mom
Comes back to her
wanted
every
her to
time.
not have the gift. So kind
Yeah.
of feels like a little mom jealousy that was like, no, 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 my daughter's not allowed to have the gift.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that they say at some point in this book that it skips a generation.
Yeah,
And
I think they said like it like passes like once you have children or something. I feel like they said her mom used to have it and then she didn't. So I think her mom
women,
was like mad.
just another reason not to have a kid.
Hey, add
Just
that to the
because,
list. Am I
yeah,
right?
exactly. Caden the next day hungover, he's gonna try to apologize to Leah, and she's like, "Don't worry, you didn't spill any of your little Vendon secrets if that's what you're worried about." And he's like, "I'm not worried about that. It's not what
And
I'm worried about."
meanwhile, Rafe is rallying up his like 4 troops and he's like, you guys, we're gonna go after this girl. And they're like, are you sure she's with Vendons?
I love this scene because I would love to beat this scene in a movie. I love the idea of him. He's got his arm up. He's looking out dramatically over the desert wasteland. And Sven is like, "Why is this girl worth saving?" And he's like, "She's not like a normal princess. She was a waitress once." And I'm just like,
Like there's so many good comedic moments in this book that I want to see play out on like TV so bad. This is absolutely one of them where they're all like, why? And he's like, you guys don't get it. You guys.
I don't get it.
She's
She
not like
was
other
a
princesses.
waitress.
She worked at the inn with pants. She's wearing trousers.
You guys, she was wearing trousers that drove me freaking bananas. Leah is in the meadow again, contemplating life. Put that on the list of cool girl shit that she's into.
Love that.
And she's like, maybe there's more to Caden than I know. You know, the softer side of him and Terravan. How did he come into this horrendous
I mean,
life?
she's kind of realizing, like, I think that guy's in love with me. And I'm like, girl, it took you this long to realize that. But he's like, by the way, we're going to leave in 3 days. Don't get too comfy. And as they're kind of having this exchange, and Leah's being tough girl, she's like, I'm not going to show my cards. But a
Mm-hmm.
horse kind of gets a little stir crazy and starts
Nay.
trampling its way towards her. And he tackles her out of the way. And he starts kissing her.
Yes, they start kissing. She's like, let's forget this happened. And he's like, you, gaslight extraordinaire, wanted to kiss me. And I mean, she did. She
I
did
mean, she
go
kissed
for it.
back. She kissed back before the shove.
I
She did
kind of
shove back.
imagine this is such a deep cut, but do you remember Catch and Release with Jennifer Garner?
No.
Never mind. It is was I was about to quote the most niche movie in the world.
Listeners, if you know up Catch and Release with Jennifer Gardner, please email us.
There's a scene where Timothy Oliphant is like holding her arms up and they've been fighting and she kisses him and it's very hot. Anyways,
Hot.
once again I haven't been touched in a year. There's a campfire later that night and she tells her
Maggie breezing past the intimate details of their life. But Leah's going to tell the children at camp a nice little story.
yeah, exactly. Caden's like, do you really believe all that stuff? Because it's like all this like magical. I mean, it's like a bedtime story,
Yeah.
and she's like, does it matter? And all the guys are ragging on her too, and she's like, do we really need all these obnoxious guys around? Like, let her have fun. Let her
And
tell
get
her little
this,
story.
we get a little bomb dropped on this lovely little occasion because Leah ends up learning through like the conversations that these Vendons are having that they are explicitly the group that was at the bridge and killed Greta, her sister-in-law. And Leah goes fucking sicko mode. She
Mm-hmm.
goes straight for Malik, who by Leah's hands, I assume is the worst one. Because she's like clawing at his eyes with like her thumbs. It is bad. And
Yeah, he
even
says it was very easy to take care of that carriage on the bridge, and she's just like over it,
no,
done.
that was not the wrong thing for to tell this princess. Caden like pulls her away and starts like scolding her. He's like, "Hey, we don't do that. We don't do that, Leah." And she's like, "What the actual fuck? Yes, we
Yes,
do."
we do. She was going so hard she broke 2 fingers.
Yeah. And Caden's trying to be like, Leah, you know how war is. I would be so fucking mad. I'd be like, what the fuck do you mean this is how war
I
goes?
know, he's like, people die all the time. Eben's family over here was killed by your army, so get used to it. And come on. He does
Not the
tiptoe
time.
he tiptoes it back and is like, I'm sorry that was harsh. And she's pissed because she's like, I mean, you kill specifically as an assassin so many people. You don't care. I still
Yeah.
do.
Yikes. But she does drop a really sick line here, which is, I may
Yes.
be your prisoner, but I am not your whore, before she storms away and gets her fingers bandaged, which I'm actually obsessed with that.
I loved it. So Caden's so mad the next day, he's like, we're leaving earlier.
Yeah. He's like,
Pack
say,
it
say,
up,
say
Barbie.
goodbye to the vagabonds, Leah.
The women bid her a very nice farewell that basically boils down to stay strong, queen.
Actually, though, like, I'm so sad the vagabonds weren't like, they didn't do more to help her. They were just like, girl power, babe, have fun.
Girl power, yeah, exactly. They were like, there goes our woman queen. So she's super mad. But yeah, what are they gonna do? Because they're a nonpartisan camp. They're not
Yeah,
gonna do
I don't
anything.
know. But either
She's really
way,
mad at Caden, and she's like, "You lied. You said we'd have more time here." He was like, I couldn't tell you that we're leaving. Like, I'm sorry, but guess what? You're gonna love your new home, Venda.
yeah.
Tall concrete walls,
Yeah,
no
Kaden does
escape.
drop, like, I can't be honest with you, because if I tell you when we're really gonna leave, you're gonna plan your escape before we actually leave. That's the deal. But yeah, like Maggie said, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna be obsessed with it.
You're gonna love minimal windows.
Minimal, no windows. Fuck the windows.
Gray sky probably every
Dark,
day.
dark constantly.
So they are going to head out into the wastelands, and again, she's gonna die if she runs. That's pretty important for her to know.
Yeah.
And she's kind of settling in. Later on, she's washing off. Just I don't know. She finally gets a bath. Thank fucking god. Malik comes around and basically like pushes her down and kisses her, and she just bites down on his lip, which I love. And Grizz is the one who breaks it up and is
Yeah,
like, "You
we
got to be
love
careful."
Grizz.
Yes,
Out of all the
around Malik.
barbarians, we love Grizz.
Yeah, she's really estranged from the guys right now because one of them was acting like an asshole. She
Yeah.
tries to connect with Eben, who's like petting his horse. He's like, "Don't touch me." She's just really trying to find a
She's
friend.
she's trying to find some friends. She's like, we're nearing the end of this 50-day journey. But as they continue on, Leah starts getting some inklings inside her that she's like, this has to be the gift. I have a really bad feeling that we should not go this way. And Caden's like, yeah, you have the gift, whatever. Because Caden doesn't
Hmm.
believe her. But then a stampede of like bison come
Hmm.
through, and Leah's able to somehow maneuver herself so she's on the other side of the barbarians. So she is no longer their prisoner, and she can make a run for it. So she fucking goes for it.
Yeah, Caden's like, there's no way she's gonna survive, and she's escaped into this forest. She's reading some of the old text. She's just like hunkering down for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And she is starting to realize that she is this like queen of hope that they keep describing because they
Yeah.
keep saying Jezelia, and she's like, well, that is my name, and it does seem like they are alluding to a princess who brings peace and unifies
Yeah.
like all the nations. And I'm kind of headed to one of them right now that most
Yeah.
people don't go to.
Notably, this text also mentions that a dragon's probably going to come when Giselia is born and has the marking of a claw on her back. And want to know what part of the henna tattoo isn't coming off? The
The
claw. So
claw.
all signs are pointing to Giselia's got a prophecy to fulfill.
Yeah, Pauline is. We get new point of view. She is going to Civica to plead with Leah's dad about sending out an army to find her, and things are going from bad to worse for Rafe because Vendans ambush him. He has to attend to Sven's wounds. Rafe is like, we got to keep pushing. Like, we got to keep pushing. And there's just four guys on his
Yeah.
side against a whole fucking nation.
Yeah, yikes. Leah does kind of make her way out of hiding the next morning onto her next journey, but not great. She immediately almost runs into Caden and his crew, and they're on like a overpass of rocks, like a cliffside,
Yeah.
and Leah can clearly see that a Vendan army is approaching on a small like Morrighan encampment,
Mhm.
and they're gonna wreak havoc. And she also notices that Walter is down there, and she essentially watches the Vendan army kill all like 30 Morrigan soldiers, including her brother.
Yeah, I mean, they massacre her brother's fleet. She tries to
Uh,
run out to meet them, but Caden at this point has caught up with her and is like holding her back. He's like, there's nothing we can do. And
yeah,
afterwards, she does go to them and she's like, I want to bury them. Finch agrees that they'll bring her down. They go down. She mounts off the Vendon commander, obviously, and he's like, fine, you can bury them, but we can't as Vendons because that's just disloyal. So she's bloody hands as fuck because she's got to like dig 30
It
graves.
takes her 3 hours to do one grave, and, like, the Vendans are just, like, watching this entire time, both in, like, shock and amazement that she's got this much, like, diligence behind her. Finch
Hmm.
and Caden eventually are like, "We're not gonna dig graves, we're just gonna dig holes," and, like, the commander's finally like, "I mean, yeah,
Fine.
we can't watch
We got to
this
speed this
for
up.
we can't watch this for another 72 hours, Jesus."
That's how I feel about Love Island. So
Yeah.
Leah is just like absolutely empty now. She does
She's
not
shocked.
care.
Yeah.
Eben's horse falls and is done for. Eben's like very soft boy, youngest kid.
He's so small.
Yeah, he can't kill it.
He's
And Leah's like, I'll do it for him. He's a kid. Let's show him
oh,
kindness. I don't feel
this
anything anymore.
I really think the scene with Walter was supposed to get me, but no, it was the scene where Leah offered to kill Eben's horse for him that I was crying during. I thought it was so sad.
Oh my God, me
I was like,
too.
he just raised this horse from it when he was a kid till now. Why are you making him do this?
I know, and it's like his first real task too. And he's probably like
Yeah.
sad he can't do it. And she's just like, let me show any act of kindness because I have been shown none.
Yeah. And
So Rafe is on the hill and he's watching her slowly walk into the Benden camp. He's finally caught up to her, but not at the
yeah.
best time, you know?
No, he's like, it would have been nice if I caught up with her like at the vagabond camp. That would have been easier, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, guys, to his crew, I'm going into Venda. So this is gonna be a plan, I guess. But they enter Venda, and Caden's trying to be like, see, Leah, it's not so bad. You're
I
just a
know
prisoner here. Isn't that fine?
he's like trying to soften the blow as a soldier throws Rafe at his feet at the same time. And he's like, listen, this one says that he like has a message for the Prince of Dalbrek. Should we kill him? Should we do it? And Caden's like, no, no, no. So like, not only is she in this new foreign place that kind of sucks and wants her dead, she's also watching a guy who she's torn about liking, maybe also faces death.
Yeah. But she does have a sense of relief. She's like, yay, Rafe is here. And that's essentially where this book leaves off, is we've entered into the kingdom of Venda and shit's about to go down.
Yeah, shit's about to go down. But until we get to the next book, we have a little top five to roll out to keep you warm at night about
Aww.
the kiss of deception. And the top five is top five other distractions we think Leah could have done to evade Caden and the Vendans. There were a lot of moments that she
She
could have.
I understand that she was hesitant, but I really feel like we could have gotten like one more attempt in there, you know?
Yeah, maybe like some sleight of hand magic, maybe a dollar bill on a
Challenge them
fishing
to a game of
pole.
Monopoly.
There you go.
Maggie, you should start with number 5.
So for number five, I just think some absolute tomfoolery would have confused them.
Yeah.
Put cheese under a cardboard box. There's a fishing line, maybe, that kind of traps the box from underneath. And you can get, I think, at least five men caught that way. I would say.
Yeah, it's a classic tempt them with food, and get them
Mhm.
to yank them out of the place.
Yankee Doodle.
Another one, a great one from Meggie. Body double at night. Pile up some clothes like Ferris Bueller. Make a little mannequin so that way it looks like you're asleep the whole time, and then sneak away. Could be
Hmm.
cool.
Number three, Laura pointed out a really good point, which was when Pauline brought up that she was pregnant, he let her go. So maybe pretend that she also is pregnant.
Yeah,
Would be good.
he clearly does have morals if he's not going to kill a pregnant girl. So if you tell him you're pregnant, he's probably not going to kill you.
Exactly.
Number two, I kind of touched on this as we were talking. Why not enlist the vagabonds to like help you get out in the middle of the night, especially the night like Caden was drunk? Like sneak off,
Exactly.
try.
And number one, listen, it's named Kiss of Deception for a reason. Lean farther into the crush on Caden. I really think that you could get away with quite a bit.
I do think that would have been her best bet. I feel like Caden would have let his guard down if she really leaned into like, no, 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 I really like you.
Yeah, I
Oh,
completely agree.
so hell yeah, that's it. That's the Kiss of
So
Deception. We'll
fun.
be back with the Heart of Betrayal
Ooh,
next. I'm
yes.
really excited. I'm already like 200 pages in.
Nice. Okay, I'll text you about it. All right, and we will
Okay.
see you then.
All right. We love you guys.
Love you, bye.
Bye.